right, it's that time of year again when we start prepping for MAP testing. So we're going to click on Online Tools Training, and today we're focused on math. So we are going to click Mathematics, and then you're going to click the grade level that you are in. So 6th grade, you click grade 6, 7th, grade 7th, and 8th, obviously, you are going to click grade 8. For this example, I'm going to do grade 7. And when I click on that, it's going to bring me to this username and password page. On the actual MAP test, it won't give you that. Your teachers will give you a slip of paper that has your specific username and password attached to it. However, for the practice test, we just copy in the username and the password that they gave us. And it brings you to this main page. You're going to click Continue. And you'll see 2 sessions here. One is the performance event and one is the session 1. This would just be basic math. We are going to focus on session 1 in this example, but I want you to check out both of them. That way there's no surprises when MAP comes around and you have a performance event. So we're going to click session 1. And we are going to skip through all of these things because that's what we're going over today. But these are just basic how to use MAP tools. Feel free to read those over. You can cross off things that you don't want. That one's kind of important. But I'm going to show you the rest of them in this video. Once we get through all of these, you will click Begin the Test. So when you get to the test, you will see over here's where you would plug in your answer. There are different types of questions. You'll have everything from multiple choice to written response to like connecting, like a matching, I guess is what you would call it. Check the boxes, graphing. It could be anything. And so that's why it's super important that we go through all of these today. So for this one, you can type in your answer by clicking on the actual keypad. This would be our answer. You can also type in using your keypad, which means you can also backspace using your keypad, or you are welcome to hit that little X. So things that you need to know for the MAP test. With math, they give you a lovely reference sheet. So that way you don't have to memorize all the formulas before going to the test. So here, where it says X plus Y, if you highlight over it, it says references. So when we click on that, this formula sheet for grades 6 through 8 pops up. So it doesn't matter what grade you're in, you will see the exact same reference sheet. At the top, you have conversions. So if you need to convert different lengths, volumes, weights, it's all there and tells you how to do that. But if you scroll down to the bottom, there's all the formulas. And so it says grade level, figure, and then formula. So grade level, if you see a 6, 7, or 8, that means that you could potentially use any of those formulas on your test, whether you're 6th, 7th, or 8th grade. When you scroll down a little bit, you see 7 and 8. That means only 7th graders and 8th graders would be using those formulas. So 6th grade, you would never need to use circles, trapezoids, cones and pyramids, anything like that. When it comes to just 8th grade, that means that 8th grade, you are the only ones that would be using those formulas on this test. So 6th and 7th, you don't even need to take a look at those. 8th graders, they have the different forms of writing linear equations down here for you. So they have slope-intercept form, they have standard form. You have the Pythagorean theorem for triangles. So keep that in mind when you see those words or you see those equations or you're asked to do something with those. You have access to what those formulas look like. Next, you have the calculator. You have 2 different types of calculators. You have the basic and the standard. Scientific. Struggling. So the basic calculator has your 4 functions on it, as well as square roots and fractions. This A over B is writing a fraction, so if you need to and you don't know what it is as a decimal, you can type it in and it will give you the decimal there for you. The scientific calculator just has a few more functions on it. And so you will see exponents. So this is how you would square a number. So squared. If you wanted to use a different number, so maybe like 2 to the 3rd power, you can type that in. So really experiment with that calculator so that way you know how to use it. And then obviously use the highlighter. So highlight the important information in the question that you might need. Your teachers will be given links bucks to those that are using those types of tools. If I didn't know how to solve this problem, I can hit flag and come back to it later and go on to the next. So like I said, you will have different types of questions. This one is multiple choice. If I'm looking at these answers and I'm like, oh, no way, can it be this one? I can exit those out. By using these types of tools on the test, you will earn links bucks. So your teachers will be giving out links bucks to those that are highlighting things, annotating things, crossing things out, stuff like that. You might see things that look like this in which you are to click which ones it applies to. For example, 6 and 6x are not like terms, so I would check off that box, while 4x and 6x are. And so there are different types of questions, like I said. We just are practicing all of them. This one is asking you to connect the two that go together to match them. And so you have 1/4, which we know is equal to 25 hundredths. But if I got to this point and I didn't know what the decimal was, I can just pull out my handy dandy calculator since we get it on all sections this year. And, oh, turns out you can't do that. 23/90 gives us this. Keep in mind that last number is not accurate. Remember, it just rounds it up. So we always ignore that last number. So it does show that the 5 is the only thing that's repeating, which means the line would go over the 5. And process of elimination gives us that last one. So I want you to go through, really experiment with how to use this. You'll see you have a graphing section. If you're asked to graph something, or if you didn't know where the x-intercept was, 8th grade, you can plug in that equation in that Desmos graphing tool that they give you, and it'll graph it for you. There are just a bunch of really nice things to have and to know how to use when giving or when taking this test. So make sure that you give all of them a try.